profile. Terrell wondered how to coax him into good humor. Wheeler was a souvenir of the paper's more vigorous days, a cynical old man who drank too much and was in debt to half the men in the building. Mike Karsh, the Call Bulletin's managing editor, kept him working out of a perverse and inconsistent sentimentality. Ollie took 1 or 2 stories a day, a local fire or a service club luncheon, and spent the rest of his time picking out examples of bad writing and sloppy reporting from the paper's news columns. Williams, the city editor, had shifted his desk into the comparative tranquility of Terrell's corner. This kept him out of everyone's hair but Terrell's. "I'm sorry I popped off," Terrell said, "but my connection was bad." "The column's the important thing," Ollie said. "Don't let such trifles as courtesy or good manners ever come first. Remember that. You're young, but in time you'll be like everyone else on this rag. One of Mike Karsh's journalistic thugs. Literary bully boys. Ready for—" "Say, that's good," Terrell said, with a perfectly straight face. "Literary bully boys." He repeated the phrase in a soft, respectful voice. "Using typewriters instead of machine guns, you could say. How do you toss off gems like that, Ollie?" "Go to hell, you sarcastic son of a bitch." Ollie grinned at him, a frail old man with gray hair and sharp aristocratic features. "What was the call that got you excited?" "Someone trying to peddle a story on Caldwell. What do you think of him, Ollie? Seriously?" "Seriously? That's damn near impossible." "What's funny about him?" "He's a reformer. He's given up a highly profitable law practice to run for mayor of this benighted town, and he's got about as much political savvy as a sophisticated Girl Scout. The machine will eat him alive and not even spit back the bones." "Is that funny enough?" Wheeler grinned, but his eyes were melancholy. "Or do you want bladder comedians yet?" "Supposing he wins." "Don't be ridiculous." "I've covered his rallies," Terrell said. "He draws a crowd." "College kids, they can't vote." "Seriously, Sam, it can't happen. Men like Ike Sellers, Mayor Tickner, do you think they'll let this piece of cake fall into somebody else's fingers?" "You're a cynic." "I have capacity to see what's under my nose. If that's being cynical, fine." Terrell leaned back in his chair and lit a cigarette. Eden Miles and Rich Caldwell. The pressure had eased now that the first edition was in. Reporters and editors drifted down the long room toward the lavatory or water coolers. Only 1 or 2 typewriters pecked with a virtuous sound against the comparative silence. Copy boys went from desk to desk, taking orders for coffee, bacon and egg sandwiches, cigarettes, and aspirin. The tension would start building again in half an hour or so, as stories and pictures for the next edition, the postscript, were phoned and wired into the city room. In the welcome silence, Terrell smoked his cigarette in peace. From his corner he had a view of the rewrite section, the copy wheel, and Mike Karsh's huge glass-walled office, which dominated both arms of the L-shaped city room. He was still thinking about Eden Miles and Rich Caldwell, and he knew he was after something good. He didn't bother to analyze or question his intuitions. He just accepted them as facts. They stemmed from his experience as a reporter, his awareness of the significant differences and alliances within the framework of men who ran the city. One set of shiftings and regroupings might leave him cold. Another would alert him instantly. And he was alerted by the combination of Eden Miles and Rich Caldwell. Because Eden Miles had been Frankie Chance's girlfriend, and because Frankie Chance worked for Ike Sellers. Terrell walked down the room and took a chair at the city desk. Williams nodded to him and said, "How's the pundit business?" "Haven't sold a pundit all week. Must be the seasonal lag." 3 other men were seated at the long rectangular desk. Nellie, a youngster with brush-cut hair, Poole, Williams' top assistant editor, and Frank Tuckerman, a huge and gentle man who dispatched the paper's legmen and radio cars. Now he was hunched close to the police speaker at the end of the desk, his ear automatically selecting significant data from the welter of reports, orders, and code numbers that spluttered endlessly through the air. A fire in the northeast was developing into something important. The battalion chief had called for an ambulance, and the gas company was ordering out its emergency equipment to handle a leakage in the adjoining building.